Okay, so state your name and spell
My name is Aaron Zappala, ErinZappala.
it. Alright, question one. How long have you been playing video games?
Ooh, let's see. Pokemon was my first. I played the very first one, so I think that was 7.
Alright. And how often do you play video games or would like to play them?
Well, I've been married for about 4 years, and I have a baby on the way now. So since that all started, I have probably been playing for about 1 to 2 days a week. Preferably, I wish I could play probably like 5, but family life, I have to try and balance that and family life. So sometimes it's a little difficult.
Alright, what genre of video games do you like to play?
I play a very wide variety of games. I go everything from RPGs to action games, role playing, and even some sports. I was more in sports when I was younger, but now I'm not really. I'd rather watch than play it at this point.
What do you get out of playing these specific genres?
I have a few family members that play video games as well. They're both my brother and my dad actually played the sports games, so that's usually when I play those. RPGs I usually like to play by myself, and I'll probably play that usually for like half a day or something if I have the time. MMOs I play with my friends. We probably play both the days that I play during the week. So
When you play, does this help improve your overall mood in day-to-day life?
very much so. When I was younger, I wasn't very sociable, and because of my previous medical issues, I actually couldn't be outside as much as I'd like to when I was a kid. So it was a good way to keep my mind focused and not just kind of hide away from the world.
Does playing video games help you in everyday-like scenarios?
Yeah, it's my biggest de-stressor. Pretty much anytime I'm having any kind of bad mood, even if it's family related or work related, if I can go home and play for at least like an hour or something, usually it mellows me back out.
What happens if you don't play video games for long periods of time?
Since it's been my only solace really, ever since I was a kid, if I go probably like 6 to 8 days without it, it's almost like how when people don't get to do their favorite sports or something, I get kind of irritable and I kind of need it actually.
Does playing video games help improve your brain functions and or mood?
I think so. I know for sure it helps my mood. My wife can probably attest to that too. As for brain activity, I think it's a good way to help focus on things. Certain video games can kind of help build your cognitive thinking, and strategy, all kinds of critical thinking can come from a lot of them.
Do video games help you when you go to work, when you play throughout the week?
Yeah, like I said a little bit ago, the critical thinking helps a lot. I'm an X-ray tech, so there's sometimes we get patients that come in who I can't just twist a broken arm or bend a broken knee or something. I have to think of different ways to get a good picture. So I feel like playing video games that help with critical thinking and cognitive thinking, it really helps me personally.
If you played more or less, what would that do for you?
Well, I'm about to get switched to another shift where I'll have 4 days off during the week, so I'll be able to play more, which I think will continually, help my mood for sure. If I played less, for sure, it depends on what's making me play less. Because I'm having a kid, that's one thing. I don't think that'll affect me much. But if it was just because someone didn't want me to, or for God forbid it all gets stolen, that would kind of suck a little bit. But other than that, that's about it for that.
Does playing multiple style of gaming systems help with any brain functions?
I think so. Game systems that have different button layouts, you have to remember what those buttons do for that particular system. So to me, like, it really continues to help with the hand-eye coordination.
Do you think people should play video games more often to help improve brain functions and or mood?
I think that just depends on the person. A lot of times, there are just some people who would rather go on a drive or go play outside constantly or do other stuff. I think it's to each his own. I don't think that everybody should play video games because it's not for everybody. I've had people in the past who want to play, but they just don't have the I don't know what to call it. They can't really, their brain can't get, for example, they can't get their characters to go forward and turn their character to the right at the same time. They have trouble with the hand-to-eye contact.
Have you ever had any negativity from playing video games on your brain or just everyday life?
On my brain, no. I think my everyday life, I've just caught a lot of criticism over the years, especially moving down south. I had a lot of problems with, pardon my derogatory statement, but the country people don't really, I don't know if they understand it or if they just think it's all bad. They just feel like people who sit in front of the TV and play video games or have handhelds are wasting their life, and it doesn't do anything for people. They haven't done any proper research. They really are pretty ignorant about it.
Do you prefer to play with friends, alone, or with random people online?
Younger, I used to play a lot with random people. I think my friends and I didn't have the same schedule, so I couldn't wind that up. And a lot of times, certain multiplayer games I really want to play with people. And it really just depends on the type of game I'm playing. RPGs are really, most of them nowadays are more geared towards playing by yourself. And that can be okay sometimes. It kind of lets you retreat into your own mind and deal with that. But a lot of times, I prefer to play with more people. Friends and people I know instead of random people.
What kind of criticism do you receive from people outside of the gaming community or within it? As if you are outside of it, then, if you play it, or if you are not within it, then people that don't play.
Within the gaming community, you catch criticism based on the games you play, and it's just, some people always say one game's better than another, and they'll actually get into heated arguments, which is pretty stupid. So when I run across people like that, I just ignore them, honestly. I get tired of people's bickering over nothing. You like what you like. And people outside of the gaming community, like I said a little bit ago, I think some people just haven't done enough research to actually properly assess whether it is good or bad. I mean, there's so much in the media nowadays about how gaming is bad for you and it causes people to be killers and all that kind of stupid crap. I don't really understand why people think that way, but personally I had a lot of people calling me lazy and that my brain function wouldn't be good if I kept playing video games that would make me into like a zombie, but I think it's on the contrary. I get a lot of praise at work because of the different things I do to get what I need to get, and I feel like since I've been playing video games for about 20 years now, I feel like it's really helps me be that way.
Do video games help with communication skills?
I think they do. I've had a lot of friends over the years who are really antisocial, but a lot of that to me seems like it comes from actually physically looking at somebody in the eye. I feel like playing video games with random people in multiplayer games, it increases your communication skills. You can talk about where enemies are, you can strategize. It helps them kind of take away the physical factor of talking to people. And eventually, I've seen a couple people when I was in school, it actually, through the years, I could see them progress in a communication type way. I had a couple people who never talked to anybody in school, so.
How do video games help with hand-eye coordination?
It's hard for me to say exactly how it helps, but over the years, I've always had really good hand-eye coordination. I didn't really play a lot of sports that required it, but when you hold a certain controller or mouse and keyboard a certain way for a long time, I feel like it'll help know if something's falling off the counter. You don't have to necessarily look as far down. Your depth perception helps too.
What do you take from video games that helps you in your day-to-day life?
There's a lot of things. I think communication skills are definitely one. For example, another example of something else is when you play multiplayer games with people, if you take the charge and you're pushing the plans out and you're communicating with everybody, it kind of puts you in like a leader standpoint. So I feel like that could help some people become leaders in their jobs. Also, playing certain games that are more difficult than others, when you keep losing at something or when something of yours in the game keeps dying, it teaches you persistence and patience because it allows you to continually redo it and persevere through whatever you're troubling with in the game.
What video game system and genre of video games do you recommend for someone that is wanting to start playing video games?
I think, and again, this all is based on this certain person, but I personally would recommend action games. They have a very simplistic button layout. There's not a combination of buttons you have to hit. You just one button does one thing, and that's about it. As for systems, I guess most Nintendo products are very user friendly. They're usually for casual gaming, and most people when they jump their first time into video games, they're not looking for a competitive thing, so they're just looking for a fun experience. So a Nintendo product is probably the best, and PC can work too, because I know there are games on some of the sites like Steam who have games that are just action games. They're good for pretty much everybody.